Here's some data that will blow your mind. $285 billion was just wiped from tech stocks. A survey found the number one most stated reason for canceling SaaS is AI can do it now. And Klarna, a multi-billion-dollar fintech company, canceled 1,200 SaaS tools, including Salesforce, replaced hundreds of employees, saving $40 million a year. To make this worse, the CEO of Microsoft, one of the biggest software companies on the planet, went on a podcast and declared that SaaS is dead. But here's what makes this interesting. At the same time, the software market is still growing and projected to grow further. So what does all of this actually mean? Well, nobody really knows. If I knew the future of SaaS, I'd be a trillionaire. But I did a ridiculous amount of research along with my own experience in SaaS, and I'll leave you at least clearer than you are now. I'll break everything down in this video and give you an actionable list at the end of how to stay ahead, whether you're building SaaS, already own a SaaS company, or maybe you're an agency or service provider like me who geeks out on the future of SaaS and AI. At the end, I'll break down the hybrid SaaS model and 5 moats you can create in your business as a defense against an unpredictable future. Also, I'm covering this from the perspective of being a business owner. Most of the videos I found in this topic had a lot of theory about the industry as a whole, but not much about what it means if you're an entrepreneur. If you're new here, I'm AJ Casada, co-founder of Revenue Boost. We're a B2B marketing agency that specializes in cold email, and we've helped over 450 B2B clients grow their pipeline. To be upfront, I don't own a SaaS company, but I have a pretty unique window into this market. I'm constantly working with founders, understanding what they're building, what's working in their go-to-market, and watching the data from hundreds of campaigns across different industries. And one thing is clear right now, I'm seeing our B2B SaaS clients experience slower sales cycles. That's not a coincidence. So I'm going to give you my honest take on what's actually happening and where I think this is going. I normally make videos strictly about marketing, cold email, GTM strategy, outbound lead generation. But I felt like making a different kind of video today because this has been all over my mind. The future of SaaS affects us because we help SaaS clients grow. Big industry shifts like this one have a bigger impact on your business than any tactic. So we got to look at the bigger picture. Okay, let me tell you what got me obsessed with this. Last month, I flew out to Austin, Texas to get some consulting on my business from Perry Belcher. If you don't know Perry, he's one of the most respected internet marketers of the last 20 years. Built and co-founded multiple companies, including Digital Marketer and the Traffic and Conversion Summit. The guy owns about 17 companies. He knows what's up. So I'm at his house, we're talking about my business, and when he finds out that a lot of our clients are SaaS companies, he looks at me and says, in 24 months, SaaS is going to be decimated. And his reasoning was this. In his own companies, they're going through every tool on their P&L and asking one question, can we just vibe code a version of this? If you've been paying attention, you've probably heard this idea floating around. The thinking goes, if AI can write code so fast, if anyone can build software without being a developer, why would you keep paying monthly for a tool you could just build yourself? That conversation stuck with me, so I went deep on it. And I came across a video from Alex Becker, founder of a SaaS company doing around $30 million a year. He said SaaS isn't dying, but 90% of SaaS companies will die. And the thing he said that really stuck with me was that most companies only spend 1 to 2% of their revenue on tools. Think about that for a second. Business owners are not lying awake at night trying to save 1 to 2% on software subscriptions. That's not where the urgency is. I don't think people are vibe coding replacements just to save money. Yeah, you could do it. But now you own the maintenance headache. You have to keep it working. You have to connect it to everything else in your stack. And then when something breaks, there's no support team. It's on you. That's not a trade most companies are willing to make, just to cut a small line item. But people will build their own version when the existing tool doesn't fit their business well enough. Think about it like buying a suit off the rack versus getting one made. Most people will buy off the rack because it's fast and cheap and good enough. But if the proportions are all wrong and it never quite fits right, eventually you go get something custom. I wouldn't know as I usually wear shorts and flip-flops and live in Vietnam, but you get the point. That's what's happening right now. It's not that people hate their tools, it's that the tools were never built for exactly how they operate, and now there's a viable alternative. Zapier exists for this exact reason. Out-of-the-box software almost never maps perfectly to how a specific company operates. Companies either live with the friction, or they find a workaround. Now that workaround can be, just build our own. So the threat to SaaS isn't cost cutting. The threat is customization, which means your advantage could be offering greater customization. Okay, let's shift gears and talk about a few events. 3 things happened recently that are sparking all of this. First, our boy Nadella. In December 2024, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella went on a podcast and said that the very notion of business applications existing will probably collapse. His argument, most SaaS tools are just a database with business logic sitting on top of it. Rules for how data flows, how processes trigger, what happens when X causes Y. His view is that AI agents will absorb all of that logic. Instead of logging into 5 different tools to manage your business, you just tell an AI what outcome you want, and it handles it across all your systems. Second, a story from an app that lets you finance burritos and DoorDash, Klarna. They canceled around 1,200 SaaS tools, including Salesforce and Workday. An AI customer service system replaced the equivalent of 700 full-time employees, $40 million saved annually. That's why CEOs are drooling over AI right now. The headline was AI is replacing a SaaS, but the real story is more nuanced. What Klarna actually did was look at all their data, fragmented across 1,200 different tools, and realize that a scattered tech stack is the enemy of good AI. If your data is siloed everywhere, your AI is useless. So they consolidated, built a unified internal data layer. And as a side effect of that consolidation, they didn't need most tools anymore. AI didn't kill SaaS, but a byproduct of unifying their data eliminated the need for SaaS. Thirdly, the pricing model is cracking. The entire SaaS business model was built on one assumption: more users equals more revenue. AI broke that assumption. One person with the right AI tools can now do the work of 3 or 4 people. So maybe instead of having 50 employees with a seat license, you have one AI agent that does everything in that tool for the company in one seat. IDC is predicting that by 2028, pure seat-based pricing will be essentially obsolete. 70% of vendors will have to rebuild their model around outcomes and consumption. That's a fundamental shift in how software gets bought and sold. These 3 examples back up the assumption that something is changing. So commodity SaaS will die. Think of it like this. Back in the day, if you needed to cross a river, a raft worked fine. It got the job done. But the moment someone built a bridge, the raft became obsolete overnight. Not because anything was wrong with the raft, but because the gap it was filling no longer existed. That's commodity SaaS right now. It was built to solve a problem that AI is starting to bridge. There are basically 2 types of SaaS right now. Type 1, commodity SaaS, simple task management, basic CRM, lightweight automation, content scheduling, tools where the core function isn't hard to replicate and there's no proprietary data. These are the tools getting vibe coded into smithereens. The ones people cancel when AI handles it. The ones that don't survive consolidation. The second type is tools that have moats. These tools have something commodity SaaS doesn't. And it comes in a few different forms. I personally see 6 moats that any company can use to protect itself. And if you look at the biggest tech companies, you'll see these patterns. Moat 1, data. Years of proprietary data that an AI actually needs to be accurate. Add attribution platforms, compliance tools, anything in healthcare or finance with real regulated data behind it. That's not replicable overnight. Like, look at Google. They have more data than anyone on what people search. That can't be replicated. Moat 2, network effects. The value comes from who else is using the product. A marketplace, a community, a tool where your competitors being on it actually helps you. Think about Facebook. You can't vibe code a Facebook because it'd only be you talking to yourself and your mom on it. Moat number 3, complexity. Becker's company, Hyros, is a good example. The backend tracking infrastructure they've built is deeply embedded in how data flows across ad platforms and customer journeys at scale. That kind of depth takes years to develop. Moat 4, deep customization. Tools that mold to how a business works instead of forcing the business to adapt to the software. This is where I think the biggest near-term opportunity sits. Moat 5, expertise baked in. This one gets overlooked. Imagine 2 companies that help with finance and accounting. One is a vibe-coded app spun up by a developer. The other has a team of 30 accountants who've built their own frameworks, their own IP, their own methodologies directly into the product, and they're still available to help clients actually apply it. Which one wins? The one with the humans behind it. Software is becoming a commodity. Domain expertise is not. If you can build a product around real, hard-won knowledge in a specific field, that's a moat that's genuinely difficult to replicate.
Hey, real quick, how would you like a free 7-hour mini course on exactly how to start and scale outbound campaigns that book you appointments and get you clients? If that sounds good, then click the link in the description and download it real quick. This is free, my gift to you as a subscriber. And definitely download this unless you hate leads and you don't want to grow your business. If that's the case, then don't do it. But otherwise, grab it and start putting it to work right away. I mean, this is literally so action-packed, so like straight to the point. You can pretty much just go through the whole course in a day, implement it tomorrow, and start getting booked appointments the next day. So it's very, very easy to follow. Grab the link in the description down below. Hope you enjoy it. And also, if you don't want to do this yourself and you would actually just like to hire a team to run outbound campaigns for you and book your sales appointments, then there's also a link in the description to book a call with my team and I, where you can actually just see what it would look like to have us just do all this for you. Anyways, thanks for watching, and let's get back to the video.
Moat 6, distribution and brand. This is the one people almost completely forget about and my favorite to talk about. Product creation is getting commoditized. Anyone can build now. But what's not getting commoditized? Marketing, distribution, and brand. The best companies in the world aren't always the best products. They're the best known. Right now, there's tools and services better than the ones you use, but you just never heard about them. You bought whatever made its way to your eyeballs. Distribution and marketing is a moat, and it has a positive feedback loop. More customers means more word of mouth, more revenue to reinvest in the product, better data to improve the product, which brings more customers. It feeds on itself. Bottom line is that a competitor could spin up a version of your tool fairly quickly, but they cannot spin up your marketing playbook, your sales funnels, your 5 years of SEO, your audience, your partners, your brand reputation. That stuff takes years of real work. There's a reason you drink Coca-Cola and not your grocery store's generic cola, even though the generic one is probably fine. Coke has spent over a century building brand and distribution. That's not something you disrupt with a better recipe. Moat 7, doing the hard thing. This one is more philosophical. Think about Amazon. Nobody is ever going to out-Amazon Amazon because they did the hardest thing. They built what they built over 20 years and operated at a loss for most of it. You can't catch up to that. They climbed the mountain no one else was willing to climb. Same with YouTube. You can't replicate a channel with 10 years of video and a massive audience just because you decided to start posting today. The question every founder should be asking right now is, what are we building that's genuinely difficult? Because if your entire value proposition can be copied over a weekend, if what you built didn't take that long to build, you don't really have a competitive advantage. You have a business at serious risk. Barriers to entry are the whole game. The harder the mountain you've climbed, the safer you are from people trying to follow you up it. So if someone asks whether their SaaS is at risk, I'd ask one question. What did it actually take to build this? Is that something someone could replicate in a few weeks with AI? Okay, let's talk about next steps. If you're building a SaaS company right now, stop trying to build the next gizmo or horizontal tool. The one-size-fits-all era is over. Go vertical, go deep, pick a specific industry, a specific problem, and become the definitive solution for that one thing. The other play, and this is genuinely underexplored, is what I'd call the customization model. Instead of selling the same rigid product to thousands of customers, you build a core framework and customize it per client. You charge upfront to set it up, charge a monthly retainer to maintain it, and if you're connecting to infrastructure like payment processors, you can earn on that too. It sounds like an agency model, and it's starting to seem like the line between software company and agency is blurring fast. Y Combinator, the accelerator that funded Airbnb, Stripe, and Dropbox, just announced they're now funding AI agencies. That's pretty cool. I was surprised to hear this because YC has historically only backed tech products. What they're saying now is that they believe the best B2B companies of the next decade will be hybrids. Agencies that operate like software companies, software products that don't just hand you a login and walk away, but that actually do the hard work of helping you implement it, customize it, and get results from it. The client gets a service. They don't need to understand how the tech works. They just get an outcome. If you're a SaaS founder worried about what you're building becoming obsolete, this hybrid model might be your best play. Excellent support, hands-on implementation, paid services on top of the software. That's a real moat. It's much harder to cancel a vendor that's embedded in how your team actually operates day to day. Now, here's the reality for people selling software or founding companies. Sales cycles are getting longer, more stakeholders involved, decisions taking more time. And I think a big part of why is that the question used to be, does this tool solve our problem? But now the question is, should we even buy a tool or should we just build something ourselves? That's a fundamentally different buying conversation. And if your sales motion doesn't account for it, you're going to lose deals you should be winning. The fix: make ROI obvious and fast. Don't lead with features, lead with outcomes. Show them specifically what they get, by when, and why building it themselves would cost more in time, maintenance, and headaches than just using your product. Make it easy to get in and hard to want to leave. To step back from SaaS for a second, I know some of you run an agency or a services business like me. Honestly, this is good news for us as the SaaS landscape consolidates and fragments at the same time. Companies are going to need help figuring out what to keep, what to cut, what to build, and how to connect it all together. That's a services problem, a strategy and execution problem, not something a software tool solves on its own. Agencies that understand AI, understand how to build lean custom systems, and can help clients actually implement and run them, they're going to do really well. Agencies that keep selling the same old services without evolving, they're going to feel exactly what the commodity SaaS tools are feeling. And agencies have been feeling a similar pain too, with customers being able to produce good enough deliverables on their own. This is something I'm actively thinking about for Revenue Boost. What does our service look like in 18 months? That's a question every services business should be sitting with right now. So SaaS is not dead. But the version most people built their businesses on and the version most people are selling to is changing fast. Here's the summary of everything we covered and where I think things are going. 1, commodity SaaS is screwed. If your tool does something simple with no real data moat, no network effect, and no complexity, vibe coding, AI consolidation, and shifting buyer behavior are all working against you at the same time. 2, the moats that matter are deeper than people think. It's not just about having good tech. It's about proprietary data, genuine network effects, hard-won complexity, domain expertise baked into the product, and distribution built over years. Any one of those is a real advantage. 3, doing the hard thing is the strategy. Amazon isn't catchable because of what they built. YouTube channels built over a decade aren't catchable overnight. Whatever you're building, if it could be copied in a week, you don't have a moat. Go climb the harder mountain now before someone else gets there first. 4, the hybrid model is the future. Software plus service, not just a login, but a real outcome. Y Combinator is already betting on this. The companies that will win aren't the ones that sell the best product. They're the ones that help clients actually get results from it. 5, Distribution is the final moat. Build your audience, build your brand, build your marketing machine. Those things compound in a way that product features don't. A competitor can copy your feature set. They can't copy 5 years of trust you've built with your market. If you're a SaaS founder or you sell to SaaS companies and you want to think through what this means for your pipeline and go to market, reach out and we can talk about how we'll help you grow. There's a link in the description to book a chat with us about outbound marketing. One thing's for sure, the best thing you can do is grab more market share, more customers, more revenue before these negative impacts materialize more. Because again, your marketing machine, distribution, and brand is a moat that will not be replaced by AI. And if this video is useful, subscribe and tell me in the comments, because I'll keep making content like this alongside the tactical cold email and outbound stuff. What are your honest thoughts? Tell me below if you agree or disagree with any of this. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Also, in a minute, another video is going to pop up about how to improve your GTM strategy, and it's only 10 minutes. If you want to build out your marketing and distribution moat, you'll like that video. See you in the next one.
Hey, I'm AJ Quesada, co-founder of Revenue Boost. Really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do, make sure to leave me a comment and definitely subscribe right now so that you're notified of all the cool stuff we're doing, all the cool tactics, tips, and strategies that we share here on the channel. We help B2B companies scale to 7 to 8 figures. We've helped over 400 clients, and we can help you too. And we share some amazing stuff on the channel here. So really hope you enjoyed. And if you do, let me know in the comments and be sure to subscribe. All right, back to the video.